know what it is. Hit that like and subscribe. Let me know where you're all from. We're going to keep you guys updated with these juicy news. The prosecutor, he's telling that Tupac murder trial to Keefe could greenlight murders of the witness, and he chooses to deny the bail. And so the prosecutors have raised alarming concerns regarding the potential danger posed by Dwayne Keefe Davis, the man charged in connection with the 1996 murder of hip-hop legend Tupac Shakur. Now, Davis, a former Los Angeles area gang leader, has sought house arrest due to alleged health concerns, but prosecutors are vehemently opposing this request. Now, Davis, 60 at the time, has been held at the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas since his arrest on September 29th, and following a search warrant at his suburban Henderson home, he faces a murder charge in connection with the drive-by shooting that claimed Tupac Shakur's life and wounded rap music mogul Marion Suge Knight. And so Davis's court-appointed lawyers have argued for his release on house arrest, citing his poor health and the absence of any danger he might pose to the community, and his commitment to facing trial. They have requested a bail to be set at no more than $100,000. And however, the prosecution has taken a different stance. In a recent court filing, they expressed concerns that witnesses set to testify at Davis's trial might face danger if he is released from prison. Now, according to the prosecutors, jail telephone recordings and a list of names sent to Davis's family suggests that witnesses could be at risk if he were allowed to leave the prison. And the court filing pointed to a recorded phone call between Davis and his son on October 9th, in which a Greenlight order was allegedly discussed. And in gang terminology, a Greenlight is perceived as an authorization to harm or even kill someone. And so, in Keefe's word and world, a Greenlight is an authorization to kill. And so prosecutors Mark Giacomo and Benu Palol said in the court filing, he added that the federal government was concerned enough that it stepped in and provided resources to at least one witness so he could change his residence. And so Davis's trial is now scheduled for June 3rd, coming up of this year of 2024. But right there, that is some recent news on what's going on with that. But, the former Southern California street gang leader charged with the killing rap icon Tupac Shakur in 1996 is expected to learn his court date and arrive on that court date. As you heard, it's in June 3rd, and he pleaded not guilty last week and remains jailed in Las Vegas. And so, he's originally from Compton, California, and he was arrested on September 29th of 2023. But he pleaded not guilty to orchestrating a 1996 drive-by shooting that killed rapper Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas. And so Dwayne Keefe Davis, remember, is the only person still alive who was in the vehicle from which the shots were fired, and the only person to be charged with the crime in the case. And so Dwayne Keefe Davis is the last living suspect in one of the hip-hop's most enduring mysteries of that 1996 killing. And so remember, on that same night of the September 7th of 1996, Shakur was in the passenger seat of a black BMW that Knight was driving when a white Cadillac pulled up on their right side and gunfire erupted. And remember, Knight was wounded but survived, and Shakur died the week later. Now, police and prosecutors say the shooting stemmed from a furious competition for dominance in a musical genre that pitted East Coast members of a Bloods gang section against West Coast members of a Crips section that Davis he led in the Compton, California. And so remember, that night 3 others were in with Davis in the Cadillac, but none of them faced charges in Shakur's killing before they died. And so here's what we know about who was in both vehicles from authorities. In the court records, grand jury testimony, interviews, and Davis's 2019 tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, is that Shakur is considered one of the most influential rappers of all time. He had the 5 #1 albums, and was nominated for 6 Grammy Awards, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017. Now, he received a posthumous star this year on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and is the subject of a Los Angeles museum exhibit. But remember, Tupac Shakur and his death came as his 4th solo album, All Eyes on Me, remained on the charts with some 5 million copies sold. And he also used the stage names Tupac and Machiavelli as an actor. He starred in several films. And Shakur, remember, His late mother, Fini Shakur, and late stepfather, Mutulu Shakur, were active in the Black Panther Party in New York. And so two of the rapper's siblings, Sakia and Shakur and Mopreme Shakur, have criticized authorities for an inaction and slowness in the charging anyone with their brother's death before now. But Knight founded Death Row Records at a Los Angeles-based music label that represented Shakur at the time of his death. And so Knight's moniker was shortened from Sugar Bear to his nickname growing up in Compton. And so Knight and Shakur were heading to a nightclub when their car was shot at near the Las Vegas Strip. And Knight was grazed by a bullet or shrapnel. But, now 58, Knight is serving that 28-year prison sentence in California for running over and killing a Compton businessman outside a burger stand in January 2015. Now, the case capped the former rap music mogul's downfall from his heyday as one of the biggest and most feared names in the music industry. And so Davis said that he and Knight knew each other growing up and even played on the same youth football team in the Compton, but Knight went on to play college football at the University of Nevada in Las Vegas, and briefly during the 1987 NFL players' strike, he was a replacement player for the Los Angeles Rams. And so in his memoir, Davis describes Knight and himself as the only living eyewitnesses to what truly happened. And so Orlando Baby Lane, at the time, with the law enforcement and authorities, long suspected that Anderson was the gunman. He was 22 at the time, and though Davis was his uncle and 12 years older, he described their relationship as that of brothers, friends, and even father-son. And so shortly before the drive-by shooting, Anderson was beaten in a brawl at the MGM Grand Casino involving Shakur and associates, including Knight, and authorities and authors and Davis himself saying the shooting was an act of retaliation for beating up Anderson. And so then jumping on my nephew gave us the ultimate green light to do something, is what Davis wrote in his book. Now, Davis said he obtained a handgun from an associate and tossed it in the back seat of the Cadillac, but did not say who fired the fatal shots. And Anderson was sitting in the back seat of the car behind his uncle. And remember, he wrote this all in his book and was going on the interview saying this, incriminating himself. So neither the catalytic nor the gun used in the shooting were recovered. Now, according to retired Las Vegas police detective Clifford Moog, who was assigned to the investigation in early 2018, we were never really able to identify the person who rented the car, where it was rented from, and then when it comes to the gun, we have never recovered as of this date. The weapon that was used in the murder, Moog said in the testimony to the grand jury, that Anderson, who denied involvement in Shakur's killing, died 2 years later in what police said was an unrelated shooting at a Compton car wash. Now, DeAndre Freaky Smith, also known as Big Dre, Smith was in the back seat of the car that night sitting next to Anderson. And although authorities have said they believe Anderson pulled the trigger, the grand jury testimony challenged that theory. Hit that like and subscribe. Let me know where you're all from. We'll keep you guys updated with some more juicy news.